And just last week, a man was arrested after he slapped a 3-year-old child in public for hitting his own son. Such angry outbursts on the rise. Well, perhaps who will answer me tonight is Dr. John Lim, Director of the Singapore Counselling Centre. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Now, John, anger is a normal human emotion. I think we can all agree on that. We all get angry now and then. At what point, though, does it cross, the confines of acceptability?
As long as we are alive, we will experience the emotion of anger. And when anger becomes uncontrollable, it actually crosses the line. And this is often evidenced by, for example, it causes severe collateral damage to the people around about that person. And also it causes damage to that person's mental and physical health. And these are evidences that they have crossed the line.
When does it fall into the category of mental illness?
Well, frequent uncontrolled anger can lead to a mental disorder called intermittent explosive disorder. And this is characterized by impulsive, aggressive and violent behavior, as well as frequent verbal outbursts. And people with such a condition tend to want to afflict bodily damage, injury to someone, as well as property damage. And in the process, they do get hurt themselves. And for example, road rage, domestic violence and abuse, frequent throwing of items, for example, may be signs of people suffering from intermittent explosive disorder.
So those are the warning signs when you exhibit those signs. It's probably time to see someone like yourself. Now, John, as a counsellor, your approach to anger management, tell me about your most successful tactics.
Well, as the anger management coach of the Academy of Certified Counsellors as well, I realized there's no one approach that suits everyone. But one of the main things that we do often is to ask the clients to keep a journal recording those incidences that causes them to have such outbursts. And we will ask them to reflect and share what do they think really is the cause of their anger. And from there, a constructive approach will be undertaken to help the client.
And you've seen that this actually works with
it does work because once they are mindful why they reacted the way they react, it is very helpful. And of course, certain lifestyle habits do affect someone's ability to cope with stress and demands of life. For example, a consistent lack of quality sleep, for example, can cause someone to become irritable and react disproportionately to the event.
I can totally relate with that. Now, John, we heard about several examples earlier on. Do you think people in Singapore are getting angrier?
I personally do not think that people in Singapore are getting angrier. All right, and this is the reason why we're hearing more of such incidences is because of the prevalence of social media reporting. And I also noticed that the people in this nation are getting bolder to seek redress for injustices done to them, whether real or perceived. And hence we're hearing more and more of such incidences.
Now, John, in the past few years, signs have gone up in the service industry, supermarkets, public buses, asking for staff to be treated with respect. But we've seen offenders on both sides of the aisle. What can be done to prevent an encounter from escalating?
Well, those signs are helpful reminders that we ought to treat each other with courtesy and respect. Now, for the customer, when they are confronted with a belligerent staff, for example, the customer must be mindful that escalating the issue with the staff is not going to cause the customer to receive more respect or even better service. What I would recommend is to request for another service staff.
And to always be empathetic as well, of course.
Yes, as much as possible.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show, John. That was Dr. John Lim, Director of the Singapore Counselling Centre.